Hi, I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Johnna. And welcome to Lit
welcome
and
back.
Loud.
I keep throwing the back in there. Well, I feel like
Humiliating.
cue the music. God damn it.
Okay, that's hilarious. Because we did that twice in a row on the last one because we did that entry twice.
Amazing. Hi, Diva.
We're back. Hi, Diva. How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing well. I mean, as good as I can be. We just discovered that all of my notes got deleted from the document, so we're just using the big brain today.
We're going live. We're digging through the archives. Diet Coke. I have a white cherry Gatorade is my emotional support beverage for the day. And I tried to find a big straw for it, and I couldn't find one, so now you have to watch me sip out of a bottle.
Mouth all around the top like a kid. Red outline.
White
on the
cherry.
Upper lip. White cherry. Intentional.
Literally.
So good to see you. I mean, we got to spend the
days.
weekend together. It's been days.
We did. It's been days.
Very lucky.
We did. And us and our significant others, we are all sick.
Yeah. Sniffles.
We're hanging in there.
Sorry. Sorry, everyone that has to listen to me congested.
If our voices sound annoying, that's why.
More than usual. That's why. You want to get into it?
What are you
reading?
Ooh. What am I reading? Sorry. I am still in the Broken Bloodline series. I am in the third one, Bound in Blood by Sadie Kincade. The further I get in, have more and more mixed feelings about this. I think we're going to try to do a February wrap, so I'll touch heavily on it then. There's a weird power dynamic going on between a 19-year-old girl and a bunch of vampires that are hundreds, if not thousands of years old, which I feel kind of weird about. And it's been very prevalent that the oldest of the vampires has started calling her little one, and it kind of makes my skin crawl.
Okay. Yeah, you're stepping into territory. I know you're feeling like about it. And
I know. The vampire dynamics already so confusing because, yes, she's 19. Yes, it's consensual, but it just feels a little strange.
Fair enough.
Feels very interesting. So I'm in there. I'm going to see it through. I'm about 70% of the way through the book. I like it, don't love it, like it enough to finish it. So we're going to plow on. And then I had also finished Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I'm now on to the second one, Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. Gabe's listening to the audio. I'm reading. I'm not very far into it, but I'm very excited to see how this progresses. We had our little book club chat, and it was so sweet because he was not expecting the level I was going to bring. So I had a full Canva PowerPoint with a list of questions, and he sat down for dinner, and he's like, "What are we watching?" And I was like, "Let me tell you, it's book club, baby." And we sat down and had probably a 45-minute, hour-long discussion on all of it. He retains information a lot differently than I do, especially because I finished the book on audio. I wanted to read it knowing that he is such a sponge for detail, and I just fell behind and couldn't do it. So we got there. We are plugging on to the second book.
Amazing. I'm just shocked that he was shocked. I mean, was he not there for the Lumen party for the Severance finale? Did he not eat a coveted fucked egg?
Did he not eat from the melon bar? Yeah, he'll get there. It's fine. I just don't understand why he would expect me to do anything less.
No. The presentation looked great, too. I was peeping in there. I was like, ooh.
What they talking about?
I think
what are you reading?
I finished Role Model. I don't know if I finished it last pod or I was in it, but I finished Role Model, and I have my official Game Changer series ranking, baby. We're gonna do a whole recap. It's in our future. We are very excited to talk about this in any capacity, so keep an eye out for that. But as it stands, we have Heated Rivalry, Common Goal, controversial. The
Very.
Long Game, very people with this age gap. So we have The Long Game, we have Role Model, we have Game Changers, and Tough Guy. I
Can I
stand
pull
by it.
mine up?
Please, let's compare.
So mine is The Long Game, Heated Rivalry, Role Model, Game Changers, Common Goal, Tough Guy. Now, I know that none of these books are bad. Jot that down. I know that you really liked Tough Guy when you were in it, and everyone was like, you like that one the least? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yes, I remember you being like, "Wait till you finish because I want to know your thoughts." And yes, it's just like
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just not the best.
it's not the best out of all of them. I feel like I enjoy the characters in every other book more. Heated Rivalry also gets a bump too because like we have this whole other facet to the story, a visual
We have
component that
visual aids.
we have visual aids. So yeah, that's where I stand, and I am not here for Common Goal hate. All of you hoes are wrong. I'm right. Jot that down.
I think that everyone's really frustrated by their miscommunication, but
But that's
someone
the
who
trope.
not only is it the trope, but someone that's discovering that side of themselves as an adult that is also closeted. There's so many layers to why this is so touch and go and why there's so much miscommunication there. It
Right,
100% makes sense.
right. Thank you. Thank you for being on my side. Two bitches saying exactly back and forth to each
That's
other.
my job.
Um, I am also reading our next book to start jotting down notes. Should I reveal?
You should, because after this episode's the next one.
It is. So like, so we will be reading, and what I'm actively reading is Best Offer Wins by Marisa Kashino. I'm gonna say Kashino. I will make sure I'm correct next week. Um, but it is so good. Like
I
so
can't wait.
we have two wildly different perspectives in the context of this book,
I can't
like
wait.
with for us. So the two of us, we have two perspectives. We have you who's a realtor, you have me who understands the where this is set in the market where this is set. And it's just gonna be such a great discussion. I love a weird girl thriller so much. It gives me the bunny feels like of Mona Awad.
Hmm.
It's so good. Oh, the protagonist
I
is
I bought this for a fellow realtor for Christmas or her birthday. And I was like, you have to tell me how this is because I have to know. So I've been really looking forward to reading this. So
ugh,
I'm very excited.
you're gonna love. And I got the
Can't
physical
wait.
book, and it's gorgeous. It's just like the right texture. The colors are perfect. You know, it's the pink.
We're going to be
Um,
legally required to rhinestone that.
yeah, you're gonna see that in the future. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. What are you watching? I
I'm
know.
watching what everyone's watching, the Olympics. When I was at Aaliyah's house this weekend, she took this incredible photo of me just stimming out after the event.
Just needing to
I am doing a
decompress.
puzzle. I am in a onesie set of pajamas. I'm working on a 1,000-piece puzzle, and I'm full iPad kid watching Olympic events. Like, it was some of the greatest moments of my life.
Not you in your micromodals, MeUndies, we love you. Micromodal, just in your cozy. That's the way. And
Oh,
previous to this, we had eaten hot pot, so it was the right attire.
yeah. I had brand new jeans on, ate hot pot. I had to go put my jammies on. But
Oh,
yeah,
real.
locked in on the Olympics, figure skating. I've been very tuned into, obviously, curling, lots of cross-country skiing.
Mhm.
Snowboard cross got my ass this morning at 7 a.m.
Okay.
I usually don't wake up till 8. I am a snowboarder, which my family found out about me the other day, even though I've had a snowboard in the garage for 5 years. Um, so I love watching people snowboard. I love that Shaun White's there. That feels very Tony Hawk at the X Games. It just, my
Feels
soul is
right.
warm. Yeah, it just absolutely feels right. I love the Olympics in general, especially the Winter Olympics. They just feel special. It's a really complicated time to feel really gassed about your country, but as someone who's an on again, off again athlete, to see these people represent their country and bring that level of dedication is just so humbling and incredible to watch what people are willing to put their bodies through. And
Yeah.
I'm eating that up. But as much as I'm eating that up, the podium drama happening outside of this is fueling me in a way.
Oh, girl. It
Did
is
you see
so
the
good.
engagement today?
I did, and every comment's like, "She didn't want this," but everyone's like, "Wait, wait, wait, she did. This was her dream. She stated it was her dream. It was her dream." So,
So
mark
I
safe.
saw a lot of comments that she shouldn't be engaged to a man because she's bisexual, which miss me with that energy. But the other thing was the ring box said, "Who are we to fight the alchemy" on it, which is a Taylor Swift quote. And
Oh,
from she picked a good one. If you land a Taylor Swift quote at the engagement, I jazzed by that. Absolutely jazzed by that.
congratulations, Breezy.
Following this French figure skating duo's absolute nightmare of an existence, found out that our boy Aaliyah, who's doing his backflip, is an absolute homophobe and was sent to sensitivity training.
Didn't hear that.
How you immerse yourself in a full world of men's figure skating and become a homophobe, and you have two parents that were also Olympic figure skaters? No idea. And I did see that before the games, he had kind of aligned himself with Alex Ovechkin, who is also troublesome. He's very anti-Pride Night in the NHL and things like that. So I was having a really oh, they're just from the same town and he's seeing him go to the Olympics and this is a more senior athlete and whatever. Alex gave him laces and Ilias worn him through the whole games. And I thought that was really cute, but I think that they're more aligned than we thought. And on commentary, Johnny Weir said, "You'd never know by talking to him that he is a figure skater because you talk to him and he just sounds like a college kid that likes to play video games and skateboard." And I think that statement was met really loudly if you read between the lines.
Yeah, saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Johnny's a real one, so I trust him.
If these headphones weren't brand new and expensive, I'd be rhinestoning them. So, heard.
Incredible. Ah, anything else you're watching?
It's Thursday right now. So,
Mhm.
we get
The
the Pitt
Pit,
and
baby.
Traitors tonight. So, we're going to have to
Yeah, yeah, we picked a
live
Thursday.
out with the Pitt.
Living out with the Pit, so that's what I've been doing. I'm caught up on the Pit. It is so good. It's a good season. You have this more fleshed out versions of these people, and I'm really loving it because I have all this backstory. And Drew will pop in, not his gig. He does not do the blood, the gore, and it is pretty accurate, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not super into it. So when he does pop in, he's like, "What's their deal?" And I'm like, "Well, da 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 da."
Pause. Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
Question. Where's Baby Jane Doe?
Baby Jane Doe, not in the
We haven't
bathroom
seen her
anymore.
in at least an episode, if not two.
But Dana's just like, "Baby Jane Doe, vitals are good. Vitals are good."
We couldn't afford the baby for every day on set.
The baby's prices were way too high. Good for them,
The
though.
baby timed out for what's allowed.
Baby has to go to
Dead.
school for a portion of the filming.
Yes. It's
I'm
just
also
someone
obsessed.
jingling keys in front of the baby's face. Are you learning?
So good. I'm also obsessed with the Olympics. You did a lot of coverage, but I just need to circle back on
Yeah.
the curling. U.S. team Corey, and Corey, Corey, one person brought home silver earlier this week. I was following their journey because I like had watched a video and got very into like the mechanics of curling, and it is a
Oh, yeah.
hard fucking sport. And they do not
Yeah.
get sponsored. These are regular people. Crazy. Um, Here's one of my favorite images from the Olympics
Oh,
of
yeah.
just
And
eating
Lady Corey just has a 9 to 5,
9 to 5. Yeah.
which is,
Family company, but crazy.
yeah, but it just circles back to how incredible it is that these athletes, for the love of the game.
Yes. And that's what she said. She was in her post interview. It's like I don't know if it was her post interview, but she was like, we do this because we love it, and not all sports get treated like this. In the
Mhm.
sense of, I'm not making $1 million from doing this, and I really just do enjoy this. And I
Right?
just wanted to pipeline into curling and the stones being created on this one island. It's just the coolest. I got very into curling this year.
And it's
And I
so
love
cool that everyone touches in on it on the Olympics, and no one
yes.
really. I have a favorite Team USA curling Olympian that I follow, but I was kind of devastated to see that he wasn't in the Olympics this year because I'm always very invested in him. He's always wearing custom Nikes out there. It's Matt
Mm,
Hamilton. He really does it for me. But I do not think about curling unless I see his Instagram post or it's on my TV in the Olympic way. So
God.
I'm so excited to be back.
Always shocked by who ends up in the Olympics too. Like these people are so interesting to me. Very interesting. I'm also we are almost caught up with Traitors. We put in some real work because Drew and I were like bedbound
Yeah,
yesterday.
baby. Yeah.
So this season of the Traitors is very good. I didn't know, I mean, I knew a handful of people, obviously, but I didn't know how the personalities would bounce off of each other. And it is unfolding in a way I can't explain. Spoiler ahead before I say this, spoiler for Traitors. Do not get upset at me. I'm saying spoilers. Donna?
Mhm.
Gag. Yeah, I wish
Her
she got to play
stone
more.
face when they did this and she was stone
I'm
face.
so
That's the
excited.
mom
I
of 2
can't wait.
boys. 2 boys she
Yeah.
can't control.
But, like, they pinned her because she is she is an obvious choice, but, like, to be, like, one of the 3 would be, maybe a little bit of a throw. I just think they didn't realize they got the secret traitor. Did they say that? Do
I
you
think they
remember?
did.
Okay.
I think they
Well, when
did.
she turned back around, she's like, "Oh, and you got a traitor, motherfuckers." I would've literally pissed my britches. I
Donna's a killer.
Oh, she's good.
I'm also sad that she didn't get to play longer because I was
Yeah.
there for her. I loved that everyone on set was scared of her because the Swifties would
Yeah,
be
the
after them.
Swifties.
That
Like,
was incredible
everyone
energy.
the choice at that round table to, banish her was just I couldn't imagine being in that room because I probably would have had, like, blood in my mouth and being so stressed to vote for her, but god, they did a good job, actually, and I'm like, I wanna give them, like, points because this was a smart move, but
Uh-huh.
ultimately, they're
Well,
kind of bad players. Like, this group is not
how
a great
far
group.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably their only smart move, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And the
Ugh.
last thing that I'm watching, is season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Drew and
Ooh.
I are also almost caught up with that. We are rooting for Mikey Meeks. I'm very obsessed with Mikey. I did get a spoiler about the next episode, so I'm keeping it soft, but there's a lot of good queens, and I think all of them being so I don't know if you know, but a lot of the queens are above the age of 30, which has been a comment.
Oh.
Yeah, which seems very intentional because the comments for the handful of seasons um previous to this have been these are all young Instagram hoes. Like these
Yeah.
girls are copy paste and you're not getting, different styles, you're missing the campiness. We're drifting away from the goal of
Right.
this show.
Because also
So
drag queens don't just appear. They have drag mothers. They learned it from somewhere. And it's one of those things that's handed down and that's really special. And to just dismiss older queens feels a little crazy.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because there's a crazy dynamic. A drag grandmother is on the season with their drag granddaughter. So it's Athena and
I kind of
what's
love
her
that.
name? Oh, it's so good. The dynamic is crazy, and Athena's is a very polished, very seasoned drag queen. So I'm excited to see what she does this season. But yeah, that's what I'm watching. Oh, and Cardi B was the
Ooh.
best judge. Cardi B was an amazing choice.
Oh, I
She
didn't
was
realize
just
she
so
was on
happy
there.
to
That's
be there.
incredible.
She was like kicking her feet the
Yes.
whole time. She was like, "I'm so excited to be here." And like when they were voting, she was like, "Oh, I'm so stressed. Like I feel it. I'm so stressed." It's like,
Living out at
coming
Drag
apart.
Race.
Living out a drag race. That's Cardi B right there. Incredible. What are you obsessed with?
I have a couple things. Birthday season plows on. Aaliyah's birthday was last week. My boyfriend's birthday is tomorrow. I have to bake a cake after we record. He's a pineapple upside down king. I'm really happy I don't have to frost something because it's already 7:00 at night. My birthday's looming, as we know. Aaliyah got me this incredible Holland friendship bracelet sweatshirt that I'm obsessed with. There's a little loon and a skate, and it's just,
Ugh.
this speaks to my soul in a way I didn't know I needed. She was going to return it because the embroidery's not great and I couldn't part ways with it. I had to have it.
I'm glad I
Speaking of
sent it to you.
I have a little poster up here actually that says I
New
will
edition.
succeed because I'm insane.
I
And
don't know mine.
then you can exercise your free will and go to Walgreens and get a 20 by 30 poster of Hudson Williams printed out and then pick it up from the little twink behind the counter that didn't even make me look weird because he was straight up nipples out how he was rolled up and I was blushing and I refused to make eye contact, but he did not care.
No.
So, incredible exercise in free will. The
Incredible.
second thing I am obsessed with is Harley LaRoux's doing tons of press right now for their new book, Avow Fatale. I don't think that we have a date yet.
I don't
I'm
think so.
a little confused about the release. It does feel like it's going to be released in a box set because this is a bunch of authors banding together. They all got a fairy tale and they are all going to write their take on it. Lots of fan art has come, not fan art. I do believe Harley has commissioned art about this, about these characters. I have seen them. As usual, I am all in. I'm ready to meet them. I simply cannot wait to get my hands on this book. And they also posted that they're doing signed copies. I'm pretty sure it's for the box set in pink gel pen, pink
Ooh,
glitter gel pen.
ooh. Great choice,
Gooped,
Harley.
gagged. Cannot wait for that. My final obsession is, well, we were together this weekend. Someone commented on one of our videos and said, these two voted for Trump. And if there is anything on
Sorry,
God's
forgot.
green earth I could set the record straight about, it's that neither of us voted for Trump. And that man is a racist, a rapist, and a pedophile. And if that offends you, please disengage from our
Get the fuck
platform.
out. Wrong bitches. Like,
Wrong bitches. I deleted the comment so fast I couldn't dig it back up to block this person. I have never been so misjudged in my whole life. And I don't owe that explanation to this idiot commenting on our stuff. We are two very queer, liberal, progressive women. And I just get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing it.
yeah. Let's set
So
the tone now.
yeah. Just miss me with any energy that's not that because no,
Yeah.
not doing it.
Great one. Well,
What are you obsessed with?
I have quite a bit on my list because it's my new obsession is writing down all of my obsessions because I get fixated on things really quickly. One of my fixations currently is the food chain Kava. I don't know if you know about a Kava, but I
I
didn't
done
because
heard.
we did not have Kava.
No.
We and it is just another form of your commercial slop, but it's delicious, and it's my
My meal
current
bowl.
safe food. You know, my bowl of stuff, my bowl of gloop glop. What do you mean?
Yeah. My favorite.
But it is like, as a person with ADHD, I have food aversions that happen like that. And as a person who's trying to be a healthier and care a little bit more about what I'm putting in my body, this has been killer. Also obsessed with the idea of my husband, Drew, doing the for the public version of Traitors. At the
Did
end
he
of the
apply?
episode, we're going to.
I thought about applying.
I was like, what a way. I think I've played quite a few rounds of Mafia. I did one on a yoga retreat that absolutely dismantled the whole ecosystem of this lovely yoga retreat because I was picked as the head Mafia dude twice, and they didn't catch me twice because I'm unassuming. But
Okay,
I really want to
Rob.
see Drew that. Lovable, strong, will carry you up a fucking hill. Girl, Maura, get a grip.
Question real quick.
Yeah.
Are you straight enough to understand how fucking hot Rob is? Or is that not your brand of boy?
That's really far from my brand of boy.
I thought
Very
so.
far. He's a little too, he's like that. He's like Love Island, right? He's very like, you exist to be shirtless, which sounds awful, but like that's kind of
The
his gig.
overalls. He's hitting me in ways I didn't know I could be hit. Because like I have a brand that's my 6'2", 280 hairy ass boyfriend. And then I have this twink brand. And there's not a lot of in between. I would call Rob the in between. I watched him pick up a snake and I was like, maybe that's kind of hot, which feels crazy for
Who are you, Lisa Rinna?
maybe I'm ovulating.
Maybe I'm ovulating. Probably.
Woo! Check
Yeah,
back next week.
Not my version straight. Two more things I'm
I didn't
obsessed with.
think that for a second. I had to
You're like,
check
I'm
though.
gonna ask, but I know the answer's no.
I knew. I had to check.
My newest obsession that came in today are my new glasses. A, because the prescription is correct in them, and I don't think my prescription was right in my other glasses. And they got a good blue light. So sorry everyone has to witness that, but your girl gets migraines and I'm serious about it. And I think the shape is very like cunty lit girl. That's what I was going for. We'll report back as I start styling them. But I'm obsessed with them right now. Thank you. My other glasses were like taking up a lot of my face and like were falling all day. So in the name of needing to see, I know I'm not like you and Drew needing to see, but enough where I'm on the road driving and signs are a little blurry. And my last obsession, it's time. Last obsession is with the fact that your girlies were influencers, baby. We made it. The dream came true. And look how quick. We have been selected to be part of the Book Fair at Bel Air influencer program. And we are super excited about this because they have a great lineup of authors. The event is going to be amazing. It will be in Bel Air, Maryland on August 8th. And we will be in attendance, so catch us there. But you'll see all wonderful things leading up from you girls. And we are so, so, so excited and so grateful to folks over there. They just released their team.
Thank you
all
for
these people are incredible.
us.
Thank you for having us. And you are now one of our divas. So all the folks.
Book Fair at Bel Air.
You're a diva.
All of us are all divas. I have already texted Aaliyah the second we got the email. I said, what are we going to wear?
Something outrageous, just so we're all aware.
I'm just a girl. Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. We're going to be posting a lot about the event itself and things leading up to it. And we are just so excited. So excited. Okay. I have something that I'm not obsessed with. Damn it. I'm not obsessed with watching Michael Rappaport eat on fucking Traitors. What do you... Plate to the mouth in the mall.
We have to pause this conversation because he got a lot of shit. However, in, I believe, that same episode, Ron Funches puts on a show. He's standing there. Two incredible things happen in that kitchen. He's standing there in his orange trench coat, to which Rob stabs a carrot on his fork and is like holding it up because it is the same exact color of his trench coat. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's like,
I didn't see this.
maybe it's, I don't know how in you are, but maybe it's next episode. But also, Ron is standing up and eating. He has food on his fork, right? He's probably holding it like this. He has food on his fork. He is eating off his plate with his hand, even though there is an entire broccolini on his fork. And also on his plate, crumpled up napkins. That plate's trash. Get rid of it. No. That outshined the plate gobble for me because it was 3 offenses. It was just holding the thing, eating with your hands, and napkins on the plate.
Dirty napkins. I love you, Ron, but that's fucking crazy. No.
Yeah.
But there's just something about this last episode that we watched. It was like a profile recording of him, and so they did this so intentionally. Like these, the cameraman was like so intentional about getting this angle of him just plate in front of his mouth.
It is deeply all over TikTok, and I cannot believe that you avoided that. Oh, it's everywhere.
Follow.
Stay off because you'll get spoilers because this latest episode that came out was also spoiled for me.
Damn.
Who's posting spoilers? We're all adults here.
Be better. We need more of like the threads. I know you keep getting spoilers on threads, but like the threads ghost thing.
Yeah. Hard agree.
All right. Now I'm done.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to go back into The Wedding People by Allison Espach. This is part 2. In the first half, we went through parts 1 and 2. So much has happened, and there's still so much to be talked about. Just a reminder that this book mentions suicide, mental health, infertility, and pregnancy loss. Take it away, mama.
Are you ready? Just to recap, in last episode, we met Phoebe Stone. She checked into the Cornwall Inn, her dream hotel, her dream vacation, and she had planned on killing herself. However, she did not, which we're all rooting for you, Phoebe. We were so happy to hear that. And she has gone on kind of an odd adventure with the wedding people and the bride. The bride has absolutely just leached onto her, leaned into her, and has decided that Phoebe's going to be a part of this wedding, hell or high water. And Phoebe, who didn't plan on having these days to spend with anyone, is down to clown. So here we go. Where we left off specifically was they had just gone on a boat. Lila, the bride, invited Phoebe on the boat with the wedding party that was there and the groom. And the groom's daughter, Juice, had a little Tamagotchi. That's canon now. Named Human Princess, who had passed away, that was given to her by her late mother. And Phoebe hosted an on-boat funeral for Human Princess.
R.I.P. Human Princess.
And we simply just rip into this part. They leave the boat. They go back to the Cornwall Inn. And Lila stops in the lobby first thing to tell Pauline, the front desk lady, that her bed's super uncomfortable. Pauline says that she'll get her a mattress topper and then asks if Gary would also like one. To which Lila says no, Gary likes a firm bed. They are so misaligned. It's literally funny.
It is.
Every little drop in the bucket.
And also, the idea of a hotel bringing you a pillow topper for your bed is crazy work.
That's out of our tax bracket, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is 1% shit. This is not for us.
Yeah, this is the $1 million wedding. While Phoebe's wandering her way back to her room, she meets Lila's mom. Lila's mom immediately treats her like a charity case. She's super high maintenance. She's kind of offering the mom from Beetlejuice, like the "Don't touch my art mom, I own a gallery." R.I.P.
Yes.
Catherine O'Hara, my queen.
Oh, that hurts.
I know. Lila's mom's name's Patricia. She takes a dig at Phoebe for wearing her clothes, but
Mhm.
willingly offered them up. Treats her like a charity case. And we find out that Patricia is moving all the art out of her hotel room because she's opted that she does not like it.
This again, crazy 1%.
Mattress
But like,
Topper Hotel. Yeah.
yeah, but like the fact that they're agreeing to do this is just crazy to me. I have never heard any
Right.
hotel. I understand this is fiction, but setting this up as like uh this elaborate thing. I mean, as someone who just stayed in the Gaylord, who felt like a little bit of that 1%.
Yeah,
No, it's just wild to me that uh, any type of establishment would go this far for just some folks, but they did pay a lot of money.
they did. That's
Anyways,
crazy.
not me siding with the rich.
Ooh. Reality
Ooh.
check.
All right, girl.
As Phoebe moves on from Patricia's room, she bumps into Gary and starts chatting with him, and he thanks her for having the funeral service for Human Princess and says that it was given to Juice by Gary's former wife, which I loved seeing Gary step up here
Hmm.
because he's letting his child continue to get traumatized and not stepping in any way to support her, which is really frustrating.
I feel like I shouldn't feel like so. I'm like, yes, Gary's doing it, but like he is just Gary. Remember, like he is just this
Just
dude.
Gary.
But like our issue at the end of the last episode was this man is just watching his kid go through it. So any amount of him supporting Juice is good in my book, but I'm shocked that I was like, yes, because rereading it now, I'm like, oh my god, bare minimum. And like
Bear.
you're not really doing anything for Juice here. You're doing it for Phoebe, which is probably self-serving in some capacity, but we won't get into it quite yet.
Phoebe's inner monologue really shines here, and she's acknowledging that she doesn't want to part ways with Gary, and this is not the first time this will happen. And she also doesn't want to go to her room and be alone, which, again, growth. I'm so
Mhm.
happy that she's connecting with people because I think that's something she's very much lacked in her life. And then she confesses to Gary that she has never met Lila in her whole life outside of the Cornwall Inn.
I love this too. Good note about the room is that the room starts transforming here because like the symbolism of the room in the beginning of this book is this resting place almost, which sounds really morbid, but that's what it was for Phoebe when she entered the Cornwall Inn. And now she's like, I don't really want to be in that place. I want to be around the people. I want to be where the people are.
Where the people
Um,
are.
oh, that was good. Okay, all
We synced up
right.
on something.
I think it's starting to transform, and we'll watch it even more throughout the rest of the book. Turn into this place of, okay, when she packs her bags and leaves, even though she does want to stay another day, it's more represents something larger for Phoebe here.
Phoebe starts contemplating how she's going to get back to real life, which again, I love. I love seeing that she's future planning cuz she's planning right now for time that she wasn't supposed to have. She
Hmm.
wasn't supposed to have today, she wasn't supposed to be on the boat, and she keeps moving forward, and she decides that what she should do is cuz again, no luggage. She should get a phone charger because her phone is now dead, and she should get a stopper for the drain in her big gorgeous room because she wants to take a bath. As a bath queen, go off.
Yes, yes, yes. As also Bath Queen.
And her reaching back out to reality, like it's almost like she got this palate cleanse and she can face her real life again, work and everything that's going on. And I think a lot of things shifted into perspective for her when she opted to turn her phone back on.
Yeah, I feel like at this moment, I would probably feel so overwhelmed because now you're faced with. I didn't think past this. Like anyone that's
Right.
had like, that moment, like, "I didn't think this far ahead. Oops." Like, that's gotta feel
Right.
the pressure has to be there for Phoebe.
Lila gets what she needs. She plugs her phone in, goes to take a bath, and she thinks to herself how refreshed she was talking to Gary in the hot tub because it felt like her little new lease on life. And then, do you want to guess who bursts in the room? Lila!
Lila.
with
Lila.
with yet another monologue. She is monologuing about how much she hates Gary's sister, Marla. After their off conversations on the boat, Marla had looked at her and said, "I'm sorry, but you can't cough like that in public anymore," which is the most COVID sentence I've ever heard in my life.
But how many times have you wanted to say that? Like, sir, who's like, "Eh." Sorry. I know you have one.
Me? Me?
This is not
Quite a
any
few.
this is you cannot do that in public anymore without getting the, like, hard side eye.
Right.
Oh,
Especially in 2021.
ooh, no.
So Lila's going on and on. Phoebe's in the bath, and Phoebe finds out that Lila has a room key to her room now because she has rented the suite out for the rest of the week, which is bonkers. But Lila wanted her little wedding bubble. She has pulled Phoebe in to be part of this wedding. So
It's all
sure.
going according to plan. It's all going according to plan for Lila because the one thing that Lila's gonna make sure that happens is it goes her way. And
Yeah.
she's doing everything in her power at this point to, like, make this still we're still at the point where she wants to make this all go smoothly, um, and have her way. So Phoebe's part of it now.
Lila asks Phoebe here a crazy question, which is, do you find Gary attractive? And Phoebe on Honesty Island,
Yes.
still in the bathtub with this almost stranger. And she says yes. And then Lila starts griping that he grew his beard in and the hair was gray.
Okay,
Gary Gary's only 40. And Lila is acting like he has a foot in the grave.
but that is, like, that is her perception though, like, for who Lila is, like,
Right.
I mean, we're the same age right now, like, I wouldn't think 40 is a foot in the grave, but, like, Lila is who she is exactly who she is.
Yep. There we go. Phoebe confesses to Lila that she's annoyed that she walked in without knocking, which I think is completely fair, especially because she's literally in the bathtub.
Fair enough, but what a practice. This is Phoebe's first, boundary, which
Yeah.
is not the theme here at all, but this is Phoebe's new life, like, this is her doing the thing in practice, but obviously it's Lila, so it's awful, awful start.
And this is such a crazy boundary for Lila to hear because she's like, oh, well, this is my room and I'm paying for it now. And you're my friend and I have constant access to you because she has this entire time had constant access to Phoebe.
Yeah.
And then Lila throws it back at her and says, I did knock, but you didn't answer. Phoebe's like, I was in the bathtub. And
Girl,
Lila says, I thought you could be dead in here. Which,
valid,
fair, but fuck
valid,
off.
valid, but
Th-
fuck off.
that might be the one I'll give Lila, like that moment right there where she's like, I thought you could be dead in here. I was like, you know,
Do you
maybe.
care? Do you think she actually cares though? That's
No, she wanted someone to bitch at.
okay, fair enough.
That was an excuse. Because
Do you think if the
Lila
glint
has to be such a manipulator.
Yeah.
Like the way she's lived her life, like Daddy's Little Princess, she knows exactly what to say. We find out that Lila's maid of honor can't come to the wedding because her son has COVID. Lila hates this, leaves a little worm at home energy. And then Lila starts shampooing Phoebe's hair.
Girlhood. I
I'm
don't know
going
if
to
you
gatekeep that one. What?
I've only shampooed well, that's a lie. When I was a CNA, I shampooed a lot of people's hair. but I'm not a hairdresser. I've shampooed my husband's hair after surgery, but, like, I don't wanna get my paws in someone's head. Choice.
Especially, once
Stranger.
again, a naked stranger. A naked stranger! While they are sharing this deeply intimate moment of Lila washing Phoebe's hair, Lila asks Phoebe to be her new maid of honor. There's a lot to unpack here, and I don't know how to do it.
Fair. I mean, obviously, it was in the moment from how this was written. It was not something that Lila was thinking about, but what I do have to say is everything that Phoebe represents to Lila currently in the story makes 100% sense for her to ask her to be her maid of honor in Lila's viewpoint, because we're
Yes.
talking someone who's just off it as a human. So it's not surprising, and obviously it's a plot pusher, and we were trying to find the strongest way for Phoebe to be actually part of the wedding people, and that this is a perfect setup for that. Um, Strange choice though for the human. So I would have thought, because like the maid of honor was left out in the beginning, but you
Mhm.
have neck pillow and high bun, and like there's opportunity to like bump one of those girls up and have her be a
Right. I
bridesmaids,
think
but
that Lila immediately appreciates Phoebe's level of honesty because no one's ever given that to her in her life.
mhm.
And I feel like she just wants her to be a part of it, and it's a one in, one out situation.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to make sense of it, and none of it makes sense because it's Lila.
Exactly who she is. After the bath, Phoebe turns her phone back on, and it's all work for the most part. It's an admin asking where she is, if she needs medical help. And then it's her ex husband, Matt, suddenly caring about her. She hops on her phone for the first time in 2 days, which must feel crazy, and just requests coverage at work while she figures her life out, which I love because a former form of Phoebe would have thought, "What am I doing?" and gotten on a plane and went back to St. Louis.
Yeah, great point. But like, what a job. Can you imagine doing that? Just
Yeah.
being ghost for 2 days and then being like, "Hey, I'm gonna need some more time off. I'm going through it."
And especially because we know that as an adjunct professor, she's kind of in a precarious place anyway.
Right.
She's really in fuck it mode, and I love it for her. After dealing with her phone saga, Phoebe's presented with a big fat binder with, because of course she is, with all the info on how to be the maid of honor, and immediately realizes that even though she was just thrust into this position, she is already late planning the bachelorette party that she didn't know was supposed to happen.
Rats.
Which, when you're this far into it as a maid of honor, that should be set up whether you are there or not. That feels crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of a setup, but other than the, sexpert, you're not getting any real that doesn't
Yeah.
feel like that. Anyways.
Phoebe starts making phone calls to make the party happen. She expresses that she loves having a mission again. I'm a box checker myself, so if someone had laid it all out, I would just be turning and burning. She calls the sex woman. She asks the front desk where to get dick-shaped party goods, which is hilarious and my nightmare. Straight-ish, but not that straight, you know? She reserves a conference room with the projector for the sex lady. And then Lila asks Phoebe to take Juice into town to get shoes for the wedding. Phoebe has to go anyway because she has to go find the dick-shaped party goods.
Clustering the care. I love this. Someone who planned a
Right.
whole bachelorette for a friend who was very adamant about not having dicks in things and or part of the party. It is hard. It is a hard thing to not include a penis. It isn't, but like that's is that all it
You gotta
was back in the day?
reach.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta get
As someone who
creative.
was in a lot of weddings 10, 15 years ago, all dicks. Lila's relationship with Juice is, again, super disheartening. She's annoyed by everything Juice does. She's mad that Juice only brought one pair of shoes because that's the pair of shoes that she wanted to wear in the wedding, were they Converse or combat boots or
Something like that.
something that didn't fit Lila's vision. But it's so obvious that everything Juice is doing is stalling a cry for help. And it's just,
Mhm.
it's frustrating for me personally, as I have expressed. Phoebe and Juice head into town, and Phoebe says that she loves spending time with a child that she doesn't have to mold into something.
Me never having kids and loving everyone with kids. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially a 12-year-old. There's something about a child that's so confused that you can relate to because we're just young, spry women ourselves. Like, I remember what it was like to be a kid trying to push for my sense of fashion and try to be heard.
Yeah.
That's the best age when they start to become people and you can do the kind of like supporting instead of telling them how to be, how to act kind of thing.
You know how people are like, "I was put on this world to be a mother. I was put on this world to be a parent." I was put on this world to be an auntie, and that is the auntie umbrella. To the glasses, to the fashion, to the foul mouth, to hopefully a fruitful career, to the just funky dunky, go in my
Right.
closet, pick something out. Woo! Like, oh, here's presents for your birthday that your parents are going to be so pissed I got you.
Here's a
Because it's
drum
about
kit,
me.
baby.
Someone with a baby, I was like, we need to get that. Have you seen like it's like a Fisher Price like DJ deck? Have you seen
Yeah,
this?
baby. I
Someone I
have.
know with a baby, I was like, I'm buying that for you.
Juice, while they're in the car, says that she wishes that her dad never walked into that art gallery. And I think that this is one of the first times we really hear Juice advocate for herself. It's not the most nuanced, but she said the quiet part out loud that she does
Right.
not want Lila in the picture. And this is juxtapositioned right against Phoebe trying to tell Juice, always buy the shoes the bride wants you to buy, which is great advice because I didn't read between the lines and bought some shoes that the bride did not want me to buy once, even though I was told I could.
No.
Bummer.
As someone who is a plus size person and also with a big foot, I usually fall out of every category the bride wants me to pick. And I love everyone, but one size fits all doesn't fit all. Um, so I've been on the other side of things, the wedding where I'm like, hey, so I bought something as close as I could.
After Phoebe tells Juice, always buy the shoes the bride wants you to buy, she kind of digs a little deeper to figure out why Juice decided to bring the shoes that she did. And Juice replies, I guess I want people to know that I'm not Lila at all, putting that distance even further in between her and her dad's future wife.
Exactly.
Through shopping and yapping, Juice and Phoebe take part in the timeless tradition of retail therapy, which I think was really good for them because through these conversations, Juice actually finds some common ground with Lila, which is that they both love all things Disney. As two people who discussed last episode that Lila probably should have had a Disney wedding, this part is so frustrating to me because I just imagine a world where Lila took anything that Juice cares about into account and Juice is actively participating in planning this wedding
Right.
with Lila at a place that they both love. Like, that would be an incredible bonding experience.
But it's not what Papa wanted. Like Juice wasn't part of the plan. Like truly.
Right. Think about how and where they got engaged. That was probably something that Juice would love, but was Juice there? I doubt it.
Right.
I really don't think that Lila was taking them on all these extravagant vacations and bringing Juice with them. I
No,
feel
not
like
at
she must
all.
have been with Marla because Marla and Juice do have a really good connection. After they get the shoes, Phoebe leaves Juice in the car and heads into the sex store to get the penis straws. And she kind of just looks around and takes it all in and realizes she's never been in a sex store. and thinks about all the other things that she's probably missed out on in life. And this is another one of those things where she's kind of bouncing back and forth in her head. Is it better to be correct or to be fun? In this case, fun, girl. Go to the sex store.
Fun. Go to the sex store. Go to the weird small town sex stores because those will be the best for you. They're gonna
On
be
a
weird
little
shit.
oceanside shanty. You can
It's
smell
gonna
it in there, you know?
It's carpeted. It's carpeted. It shouldn't be.
Yes. They head back to the hotel, and Patricia, Lila's mom, invites Phoebe in for a drink because Phoebe pops in to return the clothes that she was wearing earlier when they were in town. Phoebe did build out a little bit of a wardrobe. And
Yes.
Patricia, just like her daughter, starts monologuing at Phoebe.
Oh
There is
my
something in
god.
the air, baby.
It goes so it's like I can see where Lila comes from. But like all the
Yes.
information, am I jumping ahead? All the information you get from Patty, she it's like, "Oh, okay, I get it now. I get it. I get why she's like this."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then you start feeling bad. You get all of these components throughout this like latter half of the book of like, oh, that's why Lila's this way, and oh, I kind of feel bad for her. So that's where those complex feelings come up with me and Lila, and how like I don't know where to place her in my mind.
Right. So the monologue starts, and immediately Patricia's saying that her daughter does not treat her fairly. She didn't get a +1 to the wedding. She can't come to the bachelorette. She complains that Lila doesn't like how much she drinks. And somewhere in here, we figure out that after her husband died and she was trying to reclaim herself, Patricia had a naked portrait done up of herself. But it is done in an abstract way. She didn't realize this man had
Cubism.
changed. Yes, cubist. And she didn't realize that this man that she invited to do this is this big, like, freeing of herself had changed his art style since they connected last. And
Crazy.
we find out that this piece of art, a cubist drawing of Patricia, the bride's mom, naked, is the piece of art that Gary purchased. And that is how him and Lila met. Just to add in another layer to them. Because,
Right.
of course, Gary was Lila's dad's doctor. Of course, Gary owns a piece of art that is a naked portrait of her mother.
It's so I mean, the dynamics are already so bizarre, and it just adds another layer. I feel like in this section too, we get while this woman is speaking, yes, she's like abrasive, and like ultimately it's set up so you don't really like her, and you're like, oh, I see why Lila's the way that she is. But there is a good theme. This is like a carrying of this theme of like motherhood and the expectations of motherhood and how it
Mm-hmm.
affects women. So you have this woman who did everything right and now is doing this reclaiming of her identity and it pisses Lila off and like that's its own separate thing. But you watch the same thing happen with Phoebe and put all these eggs literally in one basket about her own fertility journey and what that looks like for her and Matt and all these expectations like she got the job, she wants the family, like she's doing all these things that are expected of her, the curse of the normal girl, and she's losing herself before it even happens. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like Phoebe watching a glimpse of like what could have been, and it's poignant but in like a crazy way.
Yeah. Patricia says, it's not easy having a daughter who's always been attracted to older men. I know it's my fault. I set the tone. My husband was 15 years older than me, which that blame feels crazy.
Just a
And
way crazy way to get to that. What a roundabout.
crazy.
My fault.
And Patricia starts talking about the Trash King of Rhode Island, Lila's dad. Patricia says that she worshipped him, which is a little crazy. She couldn't believe that he was sick when they found out. Lila came back from the appointment in love with Gary, which everyone's mom, I'm sorry. I don't care how much you love your mom. Your mom is an unreliable narrator. And I don't trust this story quite, but I appreciate the other angle. Patricia says that Henry's dying wish was to see Lila get married. She was engaged a week later, and Patricia realized that her own mom was right about everything. Which, this food chain of Grandma, Patricia, Lila is crazy. I guess
Generational
Patricia's
trauma.
mom... Yeah. I guess Patricia's mom told her that she was vain and pompous, and Patricia realized that she was all those things as her mom told her she was, and then realized that her daughter ended up the same exact way. She expresses that Lila grew up in a world of 1 million Barbies where everything is replaceable and there's no consequences. And
Ooh,
this right here explains to the T, in my opinion, who Lila is.
yeah. What a good quote.
Patty brings it round is only a seaside mom widow could. And I quote, "But now I wear linen and drink in the afternoon, and so be it, because when did afternoons get so long? I mean, Christ, just go on with the evening." I can see this woman sitting on a fainting couch in a hotel room that she has thrown
Yes.
all of the art out of with the glass. She is drinking Pinot Grigio out of a
Oh,
stemmed white wine glass, swirling it and just tipping that thing back and being like, get on with the evening in her Talbots.
in her Talbots, girl. Yeah. It is just so what a gem, what a short scene, but what a huge, like, pusher for this
So
story.
insightful.
So much context, you get so many layers from this character who's just very, like, unassuming the mess. She's, like, the mom who's fucked up in the corner. Like, that's who she
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, unreliable, you don't put much stake in her, but wow, she created such a picture of Lila and their lives and all this trickle down generational trauma that she's now having to deal with. And her solution to this is no, not rebuild her relationship with their daughter, not set boundaries with their daughter, not call her out, is to drink about it and just get to the the next day.
And just like her daughter, tell a stranger. The parallel between this scene of Phoebe getting absolutely inundated with information from Patricia and every other scene we have from Lila is so perfect.
Is so
Absolutely
well
perfect.
done. No notes.
Yes.
Like, it was beautiful. And it was like, I think maybe the first time I read this, I was like, this is weird, but it makes sense because, like, Phoebe's pulled into all this bullshit constantly. But
Mm-hmm.
wow, when you dive deep in this, you're like, the layers, the layers.
It's all right here. Next up, we have the bachelorette party, which
Woo!
Phoebe has, against all odds, pulled off and executed. This is a multi-phase project, so
Yes.
buckle up. Phase 1, the water journey.
Okay, Moana.
The journey of water. They head to the spa of the hotel, and there's all different temperature pools. All the girls scatter. Everyone's kind of running for a warm pool. And Phoebe picks the pool that's 55 degrees because it says that it will cure depression, which you might as well try. It can't hurt, right?
Oh, okay, girl. Use the amenities.
Go for it. After we go on our water journey, we leave the spa, and Jim, who is Gary's best man, walks up to Lila to tell them that the vintage car in the parking lot was fucked. Now, when I hear that a vehicle has been fucked, I'm like, oh man, someone ran into it, they fucked it up, they
Yeah.
put a dent in the bumper. The car was actually fucked. Someone fucked the car.
The delivery on this, the delivery was crazy. And I want to fault
Unparalleled,
him.
though.
I want to fault him, but like, the fuck, how the fuck would you actually say this? Like, how would you convey that there is a man fucking the
Fucking
tailpipe
a car.
of a car?
And when we both read this, again, second read, I think we both forgot that the car gets fucked.
Yes, because I
We were
texted you.
texting each other like, the car gets fucked.
Car gets fucked. What?
I have it bolded, underlined, actually fucked. Dead. So this obviously sets Lila over the edge because
Yes.
smaller things have and will, and this is too much. And we see Gary step in because his best man is not only his best man, but it's actually his first wife's brother, Jim, which is a
Yes.
crazy dynamic that we'll circle back around to.
Yeah.
But we see Gary be calm, cool, and collected as always. He looks at Jim and is like, why would you say this to
You
her?
idiot. You idiot.
Right. Right.
Rule
In my
number
notes,
one.
I am begging Lila to get a handle on reality.
Yes. But like rule number one of like any wedding, no matter who the human is, if they're calm, cool, and collective, like it's a stressful time. There's too much going on anyways. Do not. Like there is a solution to this. The car is
100%.
really fine. It might be traumatized. It's not a sentient being. Anyways. But like there is a solution to this, and Jim was like, the car got fucked.
I might feel a little violated by that, but one, it's a rental.
Not my
Two,
business.
send someone from the hotel to go wash it and move on, honestly. Like, yes, that's objectively gross and that person should probably be in jail, but
Yes.
the car is not ruined. The car's probably worth more than my house.
Probably.
Phoebe, being the greatest maid of honor of all time, goes into the hotel to tell Pauline that they will need a new car. And Pauline comps Lila a drink for her car getting fucked, which is incredible work.
Like, how many accommodations can this poor woman do? Like, how many can she make for Lila? Because everything, but this is it.
Is
Everything's going
when
wrong.
when her card's down to rent out the whole hotel, as many as she needs.
Period.
Bachelorette Phase 2. The Sex Lady.
This, before we start, my favorite part of the book. The first time I read this, I laughed out loud. The second time, I was like cooking breakfast and had to stop because it was so funny to me. And touching. It was actually touching. So,
Yes. So they grab some drinks, and the talk of the evening is obviously still the car getting fucked. Because it's still the talk of our evening as well. And they're just priming themselves for the sex lady to get there. She comes in and starts this presentation. And as it turns out, she is not just a sex lady. She's very specifically a panda sex lady. And everything she's offering is something that she learned studying pandas to figure out why people stop having sex, because apparently they have very similar habits. And this is a very real thing that I remember from over COVID. So this really also made me giggle because I remember there was, I want to say it was a WWE wrestler really put his foot in his mouth, and he was like on a live call or like a live, an Instagram live or something with his girlfriend. And he was like, yeah, the pandas, they stop fucking, we stop fucking. And she was horrified. She's like, what are you talking about? Very much a thing. And
incredible.
throughout this party, Phoebe is very used to this loud, bold, out there, spill all the tea version of Lila. And Lila's very quiet, which is
Very
interesting.
quiet. Yes. Yeah. I want to continue and I'll get your take.
Okay. Gary's sister is also at this event, which brings in a little bit of a weird dynamic. We find out why Marla and her husband are sexting, and a therapist has asked them to do it because Marla cheated. And the therapist thinks it's going to reconnect them as people and put them on a path back to each other.
And Marla cheated because she needed to feel alive. And God, if theme is not theming in this book.
Yeah, everyone's stuck in their little box.
So we have the sex woman, panda expert. This setup for her to walk in this room and have the confidence as a sex expert would, to talk to a group of women about panda sex and then do literally a group therapy session with them as a bachelorette party
Yeah.
is the confidence I wish I had to do anything in my life. And it's hilarious because I went to school for sex education, and what a person not to go talking about sex with other people. Now I just do it in the book way. It's healthy that you like demon smut. I promise you.
It
Yeah.
is.
Crazy character, but like fits into this wedding people narrative
Mhm.
wonderfully, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Like if this was a normal like what would be like what's one of those pyramid schemy sex toy groups
Pure
companies?
romance.
Pure romance. If it was like a pure romance setup, I'd be like, meh, boring. But no, we are getting into the psyche of these women and their love lives. Yes.
I had a pure romance lady named Terry, and she was old as dirt, and she was absolutely incredible, and she had a full stock of product in a van that her husband drove and would drop her off at parties. She had everything in stock, and I think between, like, me and a friend group that we had together, we had, like, 7 parties from Terry, and she turned it out. She did my sister's bachelorette party in 2011.
Ugh. A businesswoman, quite frankly, an entrepreneur, and a
Terry was
man
the
supporting
best.
her.
But this is what happens, right? You put a bunch of women in a really safe environment to discuss something like that, and it gets crazy.
This is the tub in the room at the retreat. We're all reading smut. Girl,
Yes. We are
safe
all
space.
reading smut, and we're proud.
And it might be panda smut. I don't know. So as we're here with all of these women, the panda sex expert is also digging into their lives, their personal sex lives, and she's asking them to use like 2 adjectives to describe it, and it's back to the Lila, it's wonderful. Everyone stands out as like very honest. You get background into all these relationships, but with Lila, you get I'm having a good time, and like she's not elaborating, she's being very shy, and it like continues
Mhm.
on, and she just seems very uncomfortable. And it's interesting because A, this person was hired to do a bachelorette party, and it's kind of like the norm expectation of Lila to like take part in this bachelorette ritual that we all know, especially as like cis women, exists. So it was very interesting to get this glimpse into their dynamic and their sex lives. She's like, he's a wonderful lover. He's very generous and like kind of left it at no detail, nothing. And it's just a good glimpse into maybe their dynamic and what comes later.
Especially because this is not the form of Lila we've met so far. And for her to be so quiet, and I have the quote written down, everyone's getting bored of Lila not saying anything real, which I find really interesting because Lila said the same thing about all her friends. They say everything's wonderful. They say Gary's wonderful. They won't tell me if anything's
Mm,
wrong. So
right.
there's that back and forth there where no one is telling the truth.
Could you imagine if we all were just, honest? So we're in
Phase
phase
3.
3 of the bachelorette party, and it's the tarot session. So while Lila's in with the tarot reader Time, which is just hilarious, and it's spelled like the spice, like the herb.
Why wouldn't it
Incredible.
be?
Marla confronts Phoebe in this like very weird exchange, basically saying, "You probably hate me because now you know that I've cheated on my husband." Like, girl, the story isn't about you. Like, whatever. And that's again where we learn where Marla is like, my therapist is telling us to do this thing and it's not really working. Maybe it is. Like, she's kind of giving you nothing about it. And you're not rooting for her in any stance whatsoever. And then Phoebe has to deal with the whiplash of that and constantly being the person to receive information like this. Phoebe goes into her tarot
Always.
reading. Right, this is who she is in this book. She is the therapist. So with Phoebe, Time predicts that a major decision is ahead. She's not going to have any children. She's going to travel. She's going to do property investment, and she's going to have a lot of financial success. Great lineup, in my personal
Yeah.
opinion. Like, and then,
I'd be happy with that.
right? And then this tarot reader pulls the King of Cups, suggesting love, but that patience is required. Do, 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 do. Little too on the nose. That's when your like heart starts racing
Maybe.
during one of these, where you're like, it's a little real. I'm feeling a little.
What does it mean?
What
Get
does
me
it
out of
mean?
here.
And then lastly, the Hermit card. So if you know tarot, some of this is going to come right to you, but the Hermit card appears and it really moves Phoebe to tears. Cause like I think all of this is wrapped into her life is now starting again. And I think this was like the permission to be excited about all this happening. And also kind of in a pseudo fucked up way give her a structure because this whole
Yeah,
second half, the start of the second half is like, what am I doing? You know, I need to start figuring out my life. Let's turn on the phone. Let's get back to this. So I
it's
think this
touch
is giving
grass.
it's touch grass and it's giving her like the dream part of it though. Like here's all the things that could happen. Pick maybe one of them and
Yeah.
ride with it.
On the way to the club, the next phase of the bachelorette party, they all hash out their tarot cards. Of course, Lila is still silent, which this is very jarring of her, as I mentioned. They get to the club, they dance, they do shots. My nightmare. I have about 0 personal boundaries in my life. One is I do not do shots. That is simply something that is very bad for me. Do not ask me to do a shot. I will be a party pooper. They close the bar, which is ambitious for this group of people, I feel. They close the bar, they walk back to the Cornwall. The thought of walking at night in an oceanside town where it's warm out, euphoria.
Yeah.
It's so we are in the depths of winter still, and it's crazy. On the walk back, Lila confesses that the tarot reader was absolutely correct about her. And I want to draw this parallel one more time to the conversation that Phoebe had with her mom, Patricia, about her saying, my mom was 100% correct about me. I became all these things, and so did my daughter. And Lila says that the tarot reader, Miss Time, told her that she has no personality because she's 1,000 different people.
What
Which is kind of crazy, but I'm not sure that Lila deserves that much credit. She just became who her mom asked her to.
Right. I don't I think it's gonna send her into this, like I mean, it does. It sends her into this identity crisis, but also,
Right.
like, probably the most surface level predictable human being that you can meet face to face, not the way that Phoebe's meeting her, not the way that we're reading about Lila. If you met this girl at the club at her bachelorette party, like, I could read her up and down instantly.
Oh,
Not the person that's
absolutely.
gonna have all these personalities, this complex, this nuanced. Like, she might be new I would say, actually, she is pretty nuanced, and she has that, but I still even finishing this book, I'm like, "That is a bad read," but it sends her into this crisis big time.
Rightfully so. And Nat, aka Neck Pillow, tells her, you don't even bother to think about who you are and what you like, which is a crazy call out from her friends when she hasn't had a real conversation with them. They haven't had one with her either.
No,
And they're both jarred by this. They both hate this. That is a nuts call out
really.
directly to Lila, which she also kind of needs to hear because she's just floated along. I went to school for art even though I hated it. You never bothered to think about who you are and what you like.
But, like, what the that's like a perfect potion. Saying that shit because it's I mean, I don't think it was, like, intentional because these people are airheads, but
Right. That's a drunk truth though.
that. I was like, what a subconscious thing to say to someone,
She
knowing that
waited
it's
a
gonna
decade to say that.
right, like, it's gonna send this person that would send me into psychosis, like, what a way and, like, part of me is like, how could Lila really, like, take all of that and ride with it, but, like, it this isn't, like, an isolated incident, this is, like, all of her internal struggle because you hear it each monologue, like, how she doesn't feel like she fits into who she is or people's perception of her. um, Her mother, Gary, Juice, all of these people, and this just I feel like amplified it, and then you have the terror on top of it, like perfect storm.
They get back to the Cornwall.
Whew.
Lila does what I would have done and pukes in a plant pot near the stairs. And Phoebe takes her upstairs to bed in her room, which is a crazy move, but Phoebe doesn't want to be alone in her room anyway.
I think it's because Lila couldn't figure out her key or something, and she was
Oh,
forced
is
to have
it?
Lila in her room. Yeah, I think so. She was, like, forced to be in a room, and, like, Lila's like, "Well, I'm paying for the room anyway."
Of course it is. Even better.
Right.
I'm leaving that correction in. That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Phoebe and Lila obviously have the most in-depth conversation at this point because they're the only two people having a real conversation at the bachelorette party. And Lila kind of admits that Nat is correct. She says, I don't think about what I want. I just worry about what will happen to me. And then I try to figure out how to keep those things from happening. She confesses that she had a fantasy about someone else, which is why she was so quiet during the sex party, because she didn't want anyone to know that. And the someone else is Jim, Gary's first wife's brother.
Yeah.
Crazy. Lila says, I never think about having sex with Gary, even when I'm having sex with Gary.
Awful.
Uh, this is so akin to Christmas is Wonderful, Gary's just Gary.
Gary's scary.
Loop it right
And I'm
back
just having
around.
sex with him.
And since Lila is an absolute soup sandwich, she throws in, how could Gary just let my father die, and has a full come apart. And she also realizes that she's head first in this relationship, literally 3 days out, 2 days out from marrying him, and they've never had a real conversation about anything. Lila says, I don't want to not marry Gary. I don't want to be alone. And Phoebe tells her, you can be married and be alone. And this is one of those moments where we really see Phoebe put herself out there in a way where she's starting to reflect on what happened to her instead of sitting in it, which is great.
Yeah, that is great, and, like, give Lila exactly what she needs. This is a mutually beneficial relationship between Phoebe and Lila. Although the dynamic is crazy, you have Phoebe being able to bear her soul and her experiences in a way that is constructive, and I think that is also a huge piece for Phoebe. She doesn't feel like she's doing, like, not being able to have a child, like that being the theme in the beginning, like she doesn't have the purpose behind that. She's an adjunct professor. She's not a full tenured professor, so she doesn't have that purpose. Like it's the purpose, it's all that tying in. She's giving Lila the opportunity to not fall within the same pattern of life that she currently is in, but also it happened to Phoebe. She gives her
Mm-hmm.
that opportunity on a silver platter. She is the
Right.
kooky friend to Lila, at least.
She is. Lila also comes to another drunk truth here, which is, what if I don't want to marry Gary? I don't want to marry Gary. I need everyone to know. And then she promptly falls asleep, which, what a bachelorette party, baby. Phoebe goes to sleep in Lila's room because Lila is asleep in hers. And they swap the keys. The key was right in her purse. I do
Yeah,
remember
it
that
was.
now. And Gary knocks on the door looking for Lila, obviously, and strike up an absolutely fire conversation as always because their chemistry is once again unbeatable. And Gary confesses that he had the same exact bachelor party he had last time, and it was not by choice. Jim was the best man in his last wedding too, and he kind of just took him round and they did the same exact thing.
Yikes.
Yikes. That feels
So
crazy.
icky. Like, everyone is just grieving so hard in this book. Like, everyone is grieving in such a way
Yeah.
in this book, and that's Jim, that's Gary. But, like, also Gary, like, waxing poetic about, like I think it was, like, talking about Lila's mom or, like, his ex-wife and, like, Lila's mom in the painting and, like, his life in general is the first
Mhm.
glimpse, like, the real first glimpse we get into other than the, hot tub scene in the beginning, into Gary as a human being and his experiences. And he low-key is like giving just Gary, but you're getting the depth. You're getting a little bit more depth.
We start to get a lot more depth out of Gary. In this conversation, he opens up probably more with Phoebe than he ever has, and he starts talking about his ex-wife and his life before and his life with
Yeah.
Juice. And I really loved this quote. Every day is just every day. The happiness is so big you have no choice but to live inside it. The happiness is so big it feels like nothing, and you fixate on the next thing to make you feel happy.
Whew.
Which in his marriage he was living inside it, and now he's going to the next thing to
Right.
try to fill a hole.
Right. That's me planning a trip so I have something to look forward to.
See you in April.
Literally. But no, that's like such a it's the human instinct. It's to find the comfort. It's to like it's not to do the mourning. It's to move on. It's to find the happiness. But like obviously he's doing a poor job of it for himself and it's also doing a disservice to his child. And ultimately Lila too. Like
But
no
sometimes you
one's
have to
winning.
sit in it. If you don't heal, we all know this. Like, if you don't heal, you can't jump into another marriage, or at least you shouldn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we really see Phoebe let her mind wander here about what it would be like to be with Gary. Because remember, Lila has just said she doesn't want to marry Gary. So she's in a headspace she has not allowed herself to touch. The next morning, Lila's back, baby. She's digging around for Motrin. She has the worst hangover of her life. Juice knocks on the door anyway and says that Lila is late for surfing. Lila has no intent on going surfing. She never did, because why would she care? And it's
Right.
the one thing that Juice wanted to do for the entire wedding. That is the one activity Juice planned, was the surfing. And Lila sends Phoebe in her place, which honestly worked out better for everyone.
100%. Everyone involved.
And this is the second time we've watched Phoebe kind of body double for Lila. She sent her to town with Juice. She's sending her surfing, and we do see it again too.
All of these instances are really leaving Phoebe with this feeling of like being refreshed and energized and actually feeling like a part of a family unit. I think a big piece of like what she was searching with Matt was like everything felt normal, but like families aren't normal. I don't know a single
Mm-hmm.
person with a normal family. If they are, they're secretly fucked up. So I'm not saying they're fucked up, but what I'm saying is that like the
Right. You're not
dynamics
being
make it
honest.
right. The dynamics make a family unit what it is. And you know Juice and Gary being in this mourning state and Phoebe also being in this mourning state, like they're all relating in these tiny ways, and you can see that in the conversations they have too. At first it was with Juice, and it was isolated Juice and Gary with Phoebe, but also all three of them together. Like Gary is getting the same energized, refreshed feeling that Phoebe is getting from this, but in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. I really love this whole surfing montage. I'm not going to
Yeah.
give a total scene by scene, but Phoebe and Juice actually have a lot of success surfing. Gary hurts his back because he's a token old man, which is hilarious. But Phoebe actually tastes the water to see if it's salty, because this is her first time ever in the ocean.
That's gonna be I'm tearing up
I
on the
know.
cameras.
And her finding that childlike wonder again, to be trying something new and to do that, is such a sweet moment in this
Yeah,
book. Even Gary sees it and he comments on it and he's like, "Did you
yeah.
not believe it?" And it's a sweet moment between the two of them that I just I love. Cuz if Lila watched her do that, she'd be like, "Are you stupid? Of
Like,
course
you
the
look like an
water's
idiot.
salty." And Gary thinks it's adorable.
Right, right. As two people who rely heavily on childlike whimsy in their lives and are very serious about it, like, it feels like an unserious, goofy time thing, but, like, truly and you could speak on this for yourself, but, like, leaning into that as an adult and reclaiming some of those things, like not having experiences or trying things again and having a new outlook
Mhm.
on it has truly made me a better person, has made me a mentally well person, 100%.
Yeah.
And, like, letting go of, like, the expectations that comes with, "You're an adult." Like, no, go
Yeah,
drink
and
the
it
ocean
sucks.
water. Yeah, go drink the
Yeah.
ocean water because it's gonna be fun. Go eat the Figment popcorn and, really get into that Red 40 because it's good and it's fun.
Right. Get a Labubu and make a party hat for it. I If you're not being whimsy, you're not doing it.
Wrong crowd. Get out of here.
After they surf, they go to lunch, and Phoebe really settles in with Juice and Gary. She acknowledges that she doesn't want to leave, and they have this perfect little moment. It kind of feels like a family. And this is the problem with falling in love with strangers. You don't get to keep them. And she lets herself have that moment, but really pulls back because she acknowledges that this is not a life that she's going to be able to keep.
Yeah, I think she's still hesitant. She's still this is so raw. Like, what a raw experience, so what a strange experience. If this was actually happening to someone, like, I it's not gonna be the next day or the next 2 days where you feel like this could be my whole you're dreaming again, but also remember there's reality. There's still the job back home. There's still all of these things you have to navigate. Let me not get ahead of myself.
I love the hard turn here, which is after
Yeah.
they eat this cozy little meal, they immediately have to go to CVS to get the gas X that Lila demanded.
Real.
This dynamic of her being so willing to send Phoebe out is so strange, but something that's like so expected from Lila. Like, what do I want?
Yeah, and you'd think even it's even stranger that Phoebe continues to do these things, but it's giving her so much purpose. Like, whatever the fuck it
Right.
is, fine. Like, it's giving her purpose in a real way.
Hmm. And it said when she took on the maid of honor position, it she said, "I loved having something to do again, boxes to check." So this is 100%. It's keeping her going.
Yep.
They get the gas X, they head back to the hotel, and Phoebe meets up with Jim to really lock in and write the maid of honor and best man speeches. And they decide to do edibles. Phoebe's never done edibles in her life. This feels like a really safe space to do them in, if I'm being honest. And
Ideal.
you're so spot on with when you said, like, that whimsy. She realizes she's never done weed. So she's like, sure, why not? Jim's having a hard time writing his speech, which is kind of why they sent for the edibles. But he says, I can't talk about the one thing we have in common because I'm not allowed to talk about her, talking about Gary's first wife, Wendy.
Yeah.
And I see that. I see Lila not allowing that. And there's just so much complexity there. My sister, who is the most incredible person I've ever met, she was actually widowed at 25 and she's since remarried. And when looking for a partner, it was very important to her to find someone that would allow her to honor her first husband. Because if you're in a dynamic like that, that's not a relationship that you choose to leave.
Right.
And it's not like the door's open because that person no longer exists, but there still has to be space for that person at the table.
Absolutely.
They start to get a little stoned, if you want to do a full about face from that conversation. And Jim tells Phoebe that he liked Lila first.
Yep.
And this is where we find out that Jim took Gary into the art gallery that Lila and her mother work at. The layers. The layers to Lila and Gary's dynamic. I can't even begin to touch this. This is
Yeah.
so cursed.
It is, but, like, they saw it as kismet. They saw it as this both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. But obviously, the feeling's mutual because Lila's having sex dreams about him in fantasies.
Right, but, like, I think what happens, like, the whole thing it was a different instance where Jim was, like, trying to muster the strength or something, and Lila just basically comes out and she's, like, grieving her father, and Jim just doesn't know what to say, so he just, like, holds her, and that's all Lila wanted, like, and I think she's
Right.
searching for that in Gary, but, like, Gary now represents this person who could have, like, prevented her dad's death. It's all muddy, but, like, now she made the choice and she's in it, and Jim's just not an option. Like, it's not an option in reality for her, but, like, that's what she needed. She needed the guy that's, like, not gonna say something poignant, but is just gonna be there and
Mhm.
hold her, and that's Jim for her.
This whole thing circles back around to this reoccurring theme throughout the book, which is honesty,
Yeah.
because Jim was never honest to Gary or Lila about his feelings for Lila. Lila was not honest with Gary about the feelings for Jim. Like, no one is
So
being real. Since the moment we enter this book, no one is being real. While we are experiencing dishonesty in that entire triangle, we get a big moment of honesty from Jim. And Jim says that Lila is the Lila Phoebe knows around him, which is kind of shocking because we just saw Phoebe in an environment where she was not the Lila Phoebe knows among all her friends. And Jim also says that Gary is the Gary he was with his first wife around Phoebe. Uh, And that
for the
he's
dumb
more fun with Phoebe than he is with Lila.
yeah. For a dumb idiot best man character, he's a
Mic
little too
drop.
observant. Yeah, he's real
Yeah.
observant.
And it's so easy to write Jim off as this, like, idiot character, but,
Yeah,
like, Jim is truly just Jim, and he lost his sister, he's watching his mans remarry, like, there's so many layers to this,
right.
and it it circles back at the end, but to watch someone that knew your sister or your loved one that passed away so intimately no longer be able to speak about them, I'm sure just chaps his ass, as it should.
Right. All right. All right. So we've come to the conclusion that this needs to be part 3. um, I think we have a lot to say because we're kind of reaching the like climax, pinnacle, whatever you want to say of the book. And we have
Okay, Bridgerton, the pinnacle.
the pinnacle. Um, but yeah, I feel like that will make more sense. So surprise, part 3, but we won't keep it from you long, of course. Um,
We
yeah,
don't wanna
let's do
rush
it.
through it.
Yeah.
We don't wanna rush through it and lose really digging into what happens next because it's everything.
Yeah. And you know
And
what?
we don't wanna
We're just girls who are figuring it out as we go. And this is a big book.
this is a big book.
I
Yeah,
know.
we don't wanna do anyone a disservice by cutting it short, so
Yeah.
I hope you come back for round 3. We're reading a shorter book next time. So
Yeah, we
hopefully
are.
we will know more about pacing ahead of time, because we did say this would be 1 and 2 parts, but no one wants to listen to us talk for 4 hours.
Hey, not even me. Do you want to read the read?
I would love to read the read. Insert music here.
All
I'm
right.
going for my middle of the road one, not my 5-star.
Okay.
Okay. My read the read is from Morgan Day. It's a 3-star review, and it's short and to the point. The hot guy's name is Gary.
Yeah, it is.
269 likes. No notes. Morgan, I wish you liked the book a little more, but real.
Yeah, that was a real takeaway. Okay. So mine is actually as I was perusing through the positive reviews, yes, in theory the read should be reads, but I really like this back and forth that we have. And a lot of our episodes will probably be more than one part. So fine with me. So my review is from the author, Claire Pooley, who you might know from How to Age Disgracefully, which was one of our book club reads last year
We
and
love
was a
that book.
fave. Was a fave. We did a whole like tea party themed. That book is so good. I really hope yes, this is a rec going in here because I feel like this is gonna happen naturally because we talk about books so much and so often. But please read that book. It is perfectly
It's so
executed.
fun.
The
It is
characters are
so much
hilarious.
fun.
Anyways, plug for that book. Okay, so Claire Pooley rated this 5 stars, and she said, think of this in a British accent too. Um, what an utter joy this book was. Hands down the funniest book I've read in ages, and the most well-crafted characters since Elizabeth Zott and Marcellus the Octopus. All the shiny stars. And as a person who loves 2 of those characters from 2 different books, well written review because I couldn't agree more. I think you have some really complex characters in this book, and those are some fun, complex folks who I love reading about. And I'm due for a reread for both of those books, anyways. But yes, Claire Pooley, the Queen. Thank you.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen. Hey, Diva.
Well, with that, it is time to say goodbye. We will see you for part 3,
Yeah, we will.
and we will see you at the library.
At the library.
At the library.
At the library.